Welcome into NFL Daily live right now on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook, as well as NFL free agency continues along. We've got some major NFL trade news as well, a jam-packed show for you guys today. As always, we want to make sure everybody watching on YouTube, on Rumble, has the opportunity to click that notification and join us live. So, our question of the day, who won the Matt Ryan trade? Almost unanimous in the live YouTube poll right now. F for the Falcons, C for the Colts. It is the Colts with 84% of the vote, which, isn't a huge surprise, right? That, to put it in perspective, the Colts gave up less for Matt Ryan than what they got back from the Commanders for Carson Wentz. Oops, that's not great if you're the Commanders or the Falcons, and pretty good, I think, if you are the Colts there. So I see Tom Downey says F. Now, is that reverse psychology? People are talking. But C's from My Opinion, Gary Sane, Michael, Rain, Potatoes YouTube, Barkley, John, Doug Stevens, Logster Gaming, Shamari Peoples, MJ, excuse me. Sam says win-win. If you say so. Juan Hernandez says C. Bottom Boy Phelps says C. Phrasing? Robert Bruce says F. Dusty Rhodes says F. John Garcia says C. Tyrell White says F. As the Falcons, of course, have added Marcus Mariota. So he is their vet QB stopgap option. As we sit here filming this, I have not seen the contract numbers in any capacity for Marcus Mariota, 2-year deal. Probably pretty cheap would be my guess there. Which does take off a contender with the Falcons and Colts making quarterback moves, I think takes them out of the running for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the options, as we'll break down later on in today's show, the situation is getting thinner and thinner and thinner in terms of the viable destinations for Garoppolo. Carolina and Seattle and Houston? Baker to Seattle, Houston, and then Carolina for Jimmy G. It's not great. We'll talk about the 2 second-round pick offers for Jimmy G here in a little bit. I don't know about that one. But who will trade for him? Let me know in the comments. I see the Jets. I'd be shocked. They just spent a first-round pick, second overall, on Zach Wilson. Nobody from Greg. Okay. It's fair. I get it. Eagles from Vincent. Nobody again. Panthers makes sense in there. There's an alligator emoji, so it's not Dolphins. Weird. The Orlando Tropics, now we're talking there. Texans, the Panthers, 49ers, so he just stays in the 49ers. That's fair. Falcons, Cowboys, Texans, Philly, Broncos, LOL, you're trolling there. Dolphins, Saints, Texans, Panthers, Saints may just get released. It's a tricky situation for San Francisco. That's not gone the way that I think any of us thought was going to go down as it relates to Jimmy G. Of course, all these moves pale in comparison to the 2 biggest trades this offseason. That's Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson. Which one was better? DW for Deshaun Watson, RW for Russell Wilson. This was going to be our pinned comment today, and then things kind of got changed up in terms of the chaos with Matt Ryan. So we didn't make that the pinned comment there in the end. A lot of RWs in there. Are we factoring in the on-field stuff? Or off-field stuff? Who knows? It's up to you guys. It's your show. RWs have like maybe 80% of the vote. Taylor Holland, who's a Broncos fan, says RW. I get it. Gabriel, Gary, Robert, Nick, Brokov, Norin, all saying RW. I see Dusty Rhodes, Caesar Andre, and Barkley typing in DW as well. Ernie Bueno says RW. Taylor Holland. Anzi says RW. Joe Lepar says RW. It's mostly Russell Wilson's in there, which I find quite intriguing. All right, free agency is a week old at this point. Who's the best NFL free agent left on the open market out there? Drop a name for me in the comments section. Is it Stephon Gilmore? He remains unsigned. Maybe Terron Armstead, who I don't think is unsigned for that much longer. But let me know. Best NFL free agent left here. Bobby Wagner from Chase. Armstead, Honey Badger. Bobby Wagner. Gilmore, Matthew, Honey Badger, Armstead, Honey Badger. Gilmore, Wagner. Let's see. Honey Badger, Stephon Gilmore as well. Let's see what else we got in there. Honey Badger, Gilmore. Tom Downey says they should sign me. Okay. Bobby, well, mostly I think Bobby Wagner is winning, but not by a lot. Stephon Gilmore is in that conversation too. Saw Akeem Hicks, Zadarius Smith, good names in there. Sammy Watkins. Say so. All right. It is still NFL free agency, so we'll keep our Super Chat menu alive here for today's show. $5, beer cheers. It's on this side for me. Do a little bit of beer cheer. $10, we'll spend some time talking about your team in between our various plans for today. $15, giant beer chug. I'm not going to finish the entire thing, but I'll drink a lot of it. $25, I'll make someone go get me a shot. And $100, somebody, me or maybe I'll make producer Jack do it or somebody else will do the beer boot we have here. So we'll revisit that kind of in between segments today, the Super Chat menu. $5 for beer cheers, $10 to talk about your team, $15 for a beer chug, $25 for shot, and $100 for the boot. We will also spend some time grading each and every team's NFL free agency so far, and any moves that happen afterwards, it is what it is. So I want you guys right now to shout out your favorite team in the comment section and then grade their free agency so far. So who is it? Team and grade. Producer Jack is in shambles over New England's deal. He says F-. There you go.
Can confirm.
Commanders F. U Green says Raiders A. Minnesota Vikings C from DOD. Vikings A from Chris, though. Raiders A from U Green. Eagles C- from Vincent, despite having a Steelers profile picture. Interesting, Vincent. Bears C. Seahawks C. Raiders A. Chiefs C. Chiefs B+, Bears hard C, Cowboys D, Seahawks grade F, Broncos A, lots of Raiders A's in there, Eagles B+, Eagles A, Cardinals F, Cowboys C+, Dallas C, Browns B, Bears B, Chargers A+, Cardinals C. I like that. Keep those grades coming. There's a super chat, by the way, just came in from David Prince. There you go. Why Cowboys allowing some of their best players to leave? Fan for 5 years now. Love your content. First off, David, thank you. Because they're bad. Because, well, in the end, they are bad at negotiating contracts. They don't have a good feel for what the market actually is. And this is a self-described philosophy. The Cowboys believe, because they are the Cowboys and all the things that go along with being a Cowboy, they shouldn't have to pay market rate for players, which isn't how it works. That's not how NFL players do it anymore. Going to the Cowboys isn't something that gets you all this extra money. That's just not the way it works, especially if you're like just a normal free agent. Like Jaron Kearse isn't going to get. He should have no business taking less from Dallas to stick around. Go get your money. So that's their problem, is that they lowball to start, try to salvage it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, here's what's coming up on today's live NFL Daily. As long as the Supers are coming in, we'll be here, even if that's till 1 a.m. NFL news and rumors, a lot going on that front. Not one, but two NFL mailbags. You can use hashtag NFL or Super Chat if you want your question answered. We're going to go through grades for each and every single NFL team. And then, once all that's said and done, we're going to stay live on Rumble only. Check the live chat. My boy Marshall getting that link in there for you guys. We're also live on Rumble right now. Exclusive segment available on Rumble. My 7 best and 3 worst free agent signings this year. But if you're ready for us to get this show going, like the video right now. We've got almost 600 people watching, and barely 10% of you guys have liked the video. That's really disappointing. Like the video and help us out. It tells YouTube, hey, we like what's going on here. You should show this to more people so the chat can get even more fun, and it helps keep some of the bots away as well. So like the video. Right now we got 106 likes. Give you guys a bit more time here as I sip some not a sponsor soft drink. No free ads. Think we can get to 169, Jack? We're at 131. So like the video. I'll give you guys like 10 seconds here. Remember, Rumble After Hours coming up, or excuse me, NFL Daily After Hours on Rumble only is also going down today. My best and worst free agent signings at this point. All right, Jack, 13 likes away. We blew by the 69. I knew it was never going to happen. But I'm immature. I like to make 69 jokes. I want to see if we can get to. I'm at 164. Jack, we are on different update sides. Oh, you're at 64 now too. 166. Why don't we go to Taylor Holland's super chat here as well before we start today's show? 168. It's going to go right by. Screenshot it, Jack. What are you doing? You've got one job. I'm at 173. Everyone type F in the chat for Jack there. $10 super chat, though, from Taylor Holland, so we'll hang out on this one before today's show gets going and spend some time on it here. Any other free agents the Broncos should target? Rashaan Evans, sneaky signing. Add Baker to the Panthers out of desperation, relevant to the NFC South. Love this channel. I think two great questions. Let's focus on the Panthers side here first. They got to go get a QB, and I think desperation is the right way to frame it. They are desperate for a competent QB. Is Baker better than Sam Darnold? I think so. Is he enough to salvage that team's job? Or that head coach's job? I don't know how likely that actually is. But I do think Carolina, whether it's Baker, Jimmy G, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, whoever, they're going to have a new QB week one because they have to. They are in too desperate of straits there. Rashaan Evans, sneaky signing. I actually don't mind that one. Why do you want Tennessee to keep Rashaan Evans, Jack? He's not great. He's not that good. He's like, okay, but I think he fits like the sneaky side of former first-round pick, probably a one-year cheap deal, and wouldn't prevent you from drafting a linebacker if you wanted to take one again on day 2 or day 3. Josie Jewell's back. See what happens to A.J. Johnson. Micah Kaiser actually just signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. Justin Strnad was bad. I thought Baron Browning, who's got upside, wasn't great in year 1. So maybe you want to draft. So maybe you want to buy more time for Browning. I do think Evans could be a nice little fit from that perspective. All right, so thank you, Taylor, for the super chat, and let's get into today's show. You're watching NFL Daily, and today's show is powered by our friends over at Manscaped. You guys can get 20% off and free shipping on all the incredible men's grooming products at manscaped.com/chat. Remember to use promo code chat as needed as well. Some news that came in earlier today, by the way. How about this? Matt Ryan has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts in a deal that is surprisingly low. The Falcons, and we'll spend time on both these sides here, they done messed up. The Falcons were trying to get Deshaun Watson. They missed out on that. They were going to restructure Matt Ryan's deal, and then they tried to move on. I don't think Matt Ryan liked it all that much, and in the end, they are now getting back just a third-round pick for their former franchise QB. The Falcons are eating $40 million in dead money. They saved just over $8 million. The Colts owe Matt Ryan less than $24 million this year. From the Colts side of it here, by the way, and we'll come back to it, they gave up less for Matt Ryan than what they got back for Carson Wentz. They have added draft capital and upgraded at QB all in one foul swoop, which is kind of crazy from that perspective. Now, Matt Ryan is coming off not his best year. I would also argue the supporting cast was not great in Atlanta. The offensive line was bad. I know Russell Gage just got paid, but it was Gage, Pitts, and a bunch of guys you've never really heard of, plus Cordero Patterson, who's fun, but was used more as a running back. I think Matt Ryan will be in a good fit in Indianapolis, and it gives them a veteran option that's an upgrade over Wentz. The two losers for me, by the way, are both the Falcons for botching this entire thing and the Commanders. The Commanders gave up all that to get Carson Wentz, who was not good last year, hasn't been good in a while, when they could have gotten a better, although older QB for less in Matt Ryan if they had just been a little bit more patient. They allegedly didn't want to wait, and now they're at where they're at. I'll make this point too. The Falcons have messed up the last year or so really, really badly. Like, they did not handle this right. They passed on franchise QBs last year in a much better class. Justin Fields held even Mac Jones to take a tight end because their plan was to win and build around Matt Ryan. They knew the contract was a big deal. They were going to restructure it each year, keep it down, and try to win football games. Now their roster is terrible. And they only got a third-round pick back for Matt Ryan because they didn't maximize his leverage by shopping him earlier in the offseason until Matt Ryan wanted out. The Falcons, to be blunt, really, 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 really screwed this up. This has not gone the way the Falcons needed it to go. Now, they did sign Marcus Mariota, by the way, 2-year deal. We don't know the details, but I would still think they should be in the market for more QB help. So who won the Matt Ryan trade? This is the pinned comment on today's video. F for the Falcons or C for the Indianapolis Colts. Let me know who you guys think won it right now in the comment section. Let's talk about a Jimmy G trade now, who in theory, along with Baker Mayfield, is the next best QB available on the trade market. Now, the problem here for San Francisco is the destinations, the options for Jimmy G are rapidly dwindling. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. By the way, there's also a report from Pro Football Talk that the Niners have been telling teams they have an offer of 2 second-round picks, which, okay, I don't really know if that's accurate in any capacity. Now, I think Jimmy Garoppolo's shoulder surgery is a negative for teams too, but I find it tough to believe if a team offered 2 second-rounders for Jimmy G, that they wouldn't take that they want more than 2 second-round picks. That's kind of a good offer with the way things have gone as of late. So I want you to be honest here. Do you think the Niners have an offer of 2 second-round picks? 1 for yes, they do. 2 for no, they do not. Make your predictions for me in the comments right now. Jimmy G is coming off a solid year. We know who he is at this point in the NFL season. Or in his NFL career. We know that he's good, but he's not elite by any stretch of the imagination. There's always more that you want if he's your QB. But for certain teams, the Commanders were one of them. It seemed like they were really going to be in the market for QB help. They didn't want to wait on Jimmy G, and maybe it hurt both teams in the end. Now, I think there are really 3 fits that maybe make sense. The Saints have brought back Jameis Winston. I assume we're taking the Falcons out of contention for for Garoppolo after signing Marcus Mariota. Maybe that's too quick there. The Panthers, desperate need of a QB. The Seahawks, well, he's better than Drew Lock, but is he really good enough? And with the Niners trade him to a division opponent, maybe if they just want the draft capital. The dark horse there is Houston, but I kind of think that they want to roll with Davis Mills. So all of a sudden, after we linked him to every team out there, the Browns, the Steelers, the Commanders, etc., where does Jimmy G go? The handling of this by John Lynch, fair or not, is going to be criticized pretty heavily. Who do you think will trade for Garoppolo? Let me know right now in the comments. Let's talk Terron Armstead now. He is visiting the Miami Dolphins, and I would not be surprised if in the next 24 hours he signs with Miami. This would be a big-time addition for the organization. I do wonder just how much he'll command on the open market. Normally, starting caliber left tackles do not wait until the second week of free agency to get signed. Armstead, though, allegedly might have been waiting for the Deshaun Watson deal to potentially go back to the New Orleans Saints. But I also don't think he's going to command quite as much as he might have thought he would. When he's healthy, he is a franchise left tackle. He's not always healthy. He has missed a lot of games every season. He has not played a full 16-game season in his career. As he gets older, those injury red flags only continue to grow. You slot Armstead in at the left tackle spot, and all of a sudden, feel a lot better about this Dolphins offensive line. Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson could compete at right tackle along with Jesse Davis, and Hunt and Davis could compete at right guard as well. Maybe you try to go get Tyler Linderbaum, and all of a sudden the offensive line starts to look better and better in Miami as they continue to overhaul that whole offense under Mike McDaniel. So what do you think? Will the Dolphins get Terron Armstead? Y for yes or N for no? Make your predictions for me right now in the comment section. A little fancy graphic here for you guys. Is today's show presented by Manscaped, and you can get the Ultra Premium Collection at 20% off and free shipping when you go over to manscaped.com/chat and you use promo code chat. This is body wash, body spray, deodorant, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, because let's be honest, we don't need to use two things when one thing gets the job done. Lip balm as well. Check the comment section and the description. We've got that link and promo code in there for you guys, manscaped.com/chat. Let's talk about Producer Jack's Patriots here. Leonard Fournette is visiting New England, and that's weird, if I may be honest. This is a fit that it makes me go, interesting. The running back market in general is always very tricky. Is like some players get paid, some don't. Organizations always want to throw big money at guys. I get all of that. Fournette is coming off a really good year for the New England, for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good production there. But the Patriots don't need running back help. They're in pretty good shape with the organization overall. They've got Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson. They brought back James White. Do you want four guys you can play? Or are you going to trade away Damian Harris or Ramondre Stevenson? This fit is weird to me in the end. Now, I think Fournette's one of the top 25-ish best free agents left. But who do you guys think is the best one out there in the open market? Let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't already, go check out our video on the top NFL free agent stuff. We did that this morning. Shout out my boy Mitchell Renz for putting it all together. 30 guys. It'll change soon, but there are still some big-time names out there on the open market. So make sure you're subscribed to us here on YouTube, youtube.com/chatsportstv, and Rumble as well. Let's run now through the latest free agency moves, beginning with mostly today ones. Lorenzo Carter, a one-year deal to the Atlanta Falcons, gives them some much-needed edge options because they got nothing at that position. Matt Breida to the New York Giants. There's your new RB2, maybe RB3, depending on what they really do in terms of the draft, and maybe Saquon at that particular position as well. Trent Brown is re-signing with the New England Patriots on a 2-year deal. We don't know the exact details at this moment, but he will be starting for them. The Los Angeles Chargers have continued their spending spree, bringing in Gerald Everett, 2 years, $12 million. He got 8 of that guaranteed, so could they move on from him? Yeah, sure, after a year, but he's probably there for both years as they get some extra help at tight end. Former Raiders linebacker Corey Littleton, released by them, now signing with the Carolina Panthers, became one of the highest paid off-ball linebackers a few years ago. Rams to Raiders, to be blunt, disaster signing. Now he's in Carolina. La'el Collins, this one, 3 years, 30, but also reported as more like 2 years, 20. So, hey, cool. It's the same deal he had for the Cowboys, and it'll bring down his cap hit in the short term, and he gets the same money with a new destination as the Cincinnati Bayou Bengals continue to add former LSU players. Rashad Penny is back with the Seattle Seahawks, a 1-year, $5.75 million deal. It's a decent amount of money for a running back, but remember, the Seahawks are going to run the football a lot this year, so that actually kind of does make some sense. All right, Jameis Winston in a, I'm going to argue, surprisingly large contract. 2 years, $28 million. That's $14 million per year. He gets $21 million of that guaranteed this season. So they could move on next year if they wanted to, but that feels rather unlikely at this point. He is our starting QB until a guy we inevitably draft takes his job type of money. One of the most recent ones, Zach Pascal, a 1-year deal. We don't know the details there. Probably pretty cheap as there's some overlap there with the Colts and Eagles regimes in recent years. And most recently, Marcus Mariota, a 2-year deal to the Atlanta Falcons. We don't know the money. My guess it's kind of high-end backup, low-end starter money as he gets to reunite with Arthur Smith in NFL free agency as the Falcons begin a bit of an alteration from their previously planned situation in free agency. All right, let's play a game now, folks. I want you to shout out your favorite team and then grade their free agency for me in the comment section. You sip some non-sponsored soft drink. Favorite team and then grade their free agency. Steelers A, Steelers B+, Chargers A, Panthers A, Saints A, Cowboys F-, Steelers B, Detroit B+, Jets A-, Cowboys D, Broncos B+, Patriots FFF, Chargers A, I don't know if that's A-ish or A- there, Rav, or Rave Bud. Eagles B, Colts C+, Cowboys F, Bucks A, Washington C-, Cowboys D+ is there. A lot of people low on the Cowboys and Seahawks, Raiders and Browns getting good grades right now. Niners F, Bears get a B, Seahawks get a D. Keep that comment coming. I will remind everybody that after today's show on YouTube wraps up, we're going to stay live on our Rumble channel, rumble.com/NFL Daily. Exclusive segment only on Rumble during NFL Daily After Hours Live. We'll make sure that link to the video gets in the live chat. We're live on Rumble, of course, right now. So if you're already watching on Rumble, thank you guys so much. We appreciate that. Stick around. Exclusive segment coming up on Rumble at rumble.com/NFL Daily. I'm breaking down my favorite and least favorite signings so far in NFL free agency. It is mailbag time, though, here, and if you've got questions, I want you guys to get them on screen by using hashtag NFL or super chatting. Those are the two ways you can get on our mailbag. So, Mason Roy, I see your super chat. You're the man. We'll get to it. I see hashtag NFLs from Jack and Michael. If you super chat, you get on the show. If you don't super chat, well then, you're up to the luck of producer Jack deciding your question is good enough to use on air. This NFL mailbag is presented by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all of Manscaped's top-of-the-line men's grooming products. More on them later on in today's show. It's manscaped.com/chat. Super chat from Mason Roy, $10. I'll do a couple beer cheers there, Mason. Rumor is my Vikings have Zadarius Smith in the building as we speak. How would you like that signing? Pairing him with Hunter is scary, then we attack corner in the draft. I love it. I think whether you're the Chiefs, Cowboys, and Vikings have all been linked to Zadarius Smith. All three of those teams should have lots of interest. Hunter and Smith at edge is a really good duo for what Minnesota wants to do. So, Mason, I would love that signing if it's similar to or the same as what he was going to get from the Ravens before he bailed on that particular deal. Mariners fan, should the Seahawks draft a corner? They should. Will they? I don't know. You bring in Artie Burns. You lose DJ Reed. You don't have a number one corner. They don't like adding corners early. They've gotten lucky with guys like Shaq Griffin and DJ Reed in recent years, but I would do it if I were Seattle. Yeah. Fields Goat. Think the Bears will make a big move like signing the Honey Badger or a wideout. Kind of feel like the Bears are using this as a bit of like a reset, set the books up better for next year off season. I would love those moves. Obviously, a sign as we sit here filming this on Monday night. Byron Pringle, EQ St. Brown. You still need receiver help. I think safety besides Kareem Jackson, you still need help. So I'm not going to get my hopes up for the Bears making a big-time splash, but I do think they should really consider that in the end. Column 25, could Kenny Pickett go in the top 10? Possibly. I think he and Malik Willis are the two that make sense there. But let's run through the draft order. Let's play process of elimination. Jacksonville, no. Detroit, I doubt for Pickett. Some buzz theories of Malik Willis at 2, which, okay. Houston at 3, no. Jets at 4, no. Giants at 5, probably not. That would be a bit of a surprise to me. Panthers at 6, very good fit They need a QB right now. If they don't get a Jimmy G or a Baker, I think drafting Pickett at 6 is a very real possibility for that organization. Giants at 7, and it feels like they probably go Willis over Pickett, but who knows? Falcons at 8 now makes sense after the Matt Ryan trade. Seattle at 9, they need a QB as well. So 6, 8, 9, there's a real chance 2 QBs go at one of those spots. So I think it's a very real possibility Pickett ends up going top 10. If he slides a bit, I don't think it'll be that far. Teams need QBs. Should Pickett be a top 10 pick in terms of his overall talent? No. But QBs always go earlier than what they should. So what do you guys think? Who will end up drafting Kenny Pickett? This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know who you think takes Kenny Pickett. From Zachary Lynn Morgan, why do the Packers always have to hurt me with offseason decisions? How do we really improve? The Devontae Adams one hurts, doesn't it? Because you brought back Devondre Campbell, you brought back Rasul Douglas, you kept Aaron Rodgers, and you're like, this is awesome. Then you lose Devontae Adams, and they don't do much in outside free agency, and you lose Billy Turner. Offensive line, receiver are now big areas of need for you. So you kept Aaron Rodgers. That's great. Taking guys like, Jordan Love in the first round have kind of put you in behind the 8 ball a little bit in terms of how you're going to fill the rest of your roster holes. Grant Taunton, what are your thoughts of the new Chargers tight end? Gerald Everett, I think, continues to live off of his early round draft pedigree and athletic ability. He's coming off his best year ever, which was less than 500 yards. And he got, what was the deal, $6 million a year? 212, I think it was. Yeah, 212, $8 million guaranteed. Like, he's helpful. I think he's a high-end 2, low-end 1. Still think that they could at least consider taking tight end early after. I know they took a kid last year. I don't know if that's really the best guy in the end for LA. So, it's a fine move. They needed tight end help, but you're still looking, I think, for an upgrade long-term over Everett. Maybe this is the year he balls out with Justin Herbert. I think it will be his best year ever in LA. NFL Daily is presented by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all of their perfect men's grooming products. Look, you did not have the perfect bracket this year. Your bracket's probably busted, but you can get the perfect set of balls with the Performance Package. The Lawnmower 4.0, ball toner, ball conditioner, the most comfortable boxers known to mankind, and the Weed Whacker if you got extra long ear or nose hair. 20% off and free shipping on everything on the Manscaped site when you use promo code CHAT. That's CHAT at manscaped.com/chat. From Ray Holman, does Stephon Gilmore sign with the Raiders? I know that they've been heavily linked to Gilmore. Assuming there are no more trades involving guys on their roster, I'm not sure if they're going to. Because you've signed you traded for Rock Ya-Sin, you added Anthony Averett, you have Trayvon Mullen, you have Nate Hobbs. I'm not out on Nick Robertson. Maybe the Raiders are. Darius Phillips can be your CB5. But between Rock Ya-Sin, Averett, Mullen, Hobbs, and Phillips, and maybe Robertson, that's 6 guys on your roster at corner. So I wouldn't be mad if they got him. I don't think, as this is my potentially at freezing cold takes, a day from now, I don't think he goes to the Raiders. Frankly, I'd be a bit more intrigued by maybe getting some offensive line help for Vegas. From Vincent, top free agent running back options for the Steelers. So obviously Najee Harris is your top guy, is your top player. You don't need to invest too much at that position. So you're looking for more of a buy low, cheaper option. You're not going to break the bank on Leonard Fournette. Maybe someone that can help you a little bit more on third downs. Obviously, Najee Harris can help you substantially on third downs on top of that, but you're looking for a guy just to be your backup. You don't have to throw out big money at the position. So, I don't think Fournette, as I try to pull up my list of free agent backs still available here, I don't think Fournette's a big area of focus for you. I know he's out there as we film this right now. I think you're looking for a cheaper option. So Melvin Gordon's too expensive. How about, trying to get a good name here, Marlon Mack, Justin Jackson, Any of those guys pique your interest if you want to go more early down back? Sony Michel, those guys could fit in Pittsburgh. Now, if you want more videos on the NFL offseason, subscribe right now, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Daily videos, multiple times a day, breaking down the news, the rumors, free agency, and very soon, the NFL draft as well. And if you're watching on Rumble, make sure you follow us at rumble.com/NFL Daily. Got some exclusive NFL Daily After Hours videos on there. Another video platform where we don't get censored for saying the F-bomb. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Rich Atwood, is it true they're going to look at quarterback-wise for the Ravens to get a new QB? I don't know where you saw that. I would say always be careful on these Twitter streets because there's a lot of fake information out there. They ain't moving on from Lamar Jackson right now. That would be an absolutely massive shocker because he's good at the whole football thing. From Tell Me Now with a question. Username checks out. What's the Broncos' biggest need? Right tackle. Maybe linebacker, corner, probably corner over linebacker, your other big focal points, but right tackle is the number one right now. I want you guys now to shout out your favorite NFL team for me. Who is it? Let me know in the comments section what team you love the absolute most. From Robert Bruce, hello Tom, hello Jack. What's going on with the Patriots during this free agency? Shouldn't they be signing a number one wide receiver? Jack was so mad at me when I didn't mock a receiver to New England in round one in one of my recent mock drafts. I said, Jack, they got needs at corner, on maybe the offensive line, at other spots. And Jack, they're going to take a receiver, they're going to fill those other needs. And now I was right, Jack. They might not go receiver in round one. They got all these needs. Jack's our Patriots fan. He wants to chime in.
You were right.
There it is. Clip it and send it to me on Twitter. I'll show it to my wife that I was right at one point. So, Robert, yes, they should be. They're not. It's been a weird offseason for New England. Cameron Alfrey, how you doing today? I'm doing good, Cameron. Thank you for asking. Should the Giants have traded Daniel Jones or not? I mean, I would have looked into it, but who wants Daniel Jones? I don't think Jones has trade value is your problem there. So from the Giants' perspective, you're probably better off, giving him a chance, seeing what he can do with this new offense. If it fails again, move on, draft somebody early next year. A $5 super chat from Britt Hansen, no question, but Britt, thank you very much. Bottoms up. Super chat $3 from Ten Yang. Surprised Jimmy G hasn't been traded yet. Yeah, I am. I thought he would have been gone by the start of free agency, that March 14th date. He hasn't been. Maybe the shoulder is a bigger concern for NFL teams than what we thought. So, I don't know about that one. I am surprised in the end. From Tom Downey. Is that me with a fake mustache on his profile picture? Wow, I can't grow a mustache that good. There's just no way. This is about as deep and thick as it'll get. Can David Ojabo fall to Seattle at pick 40 after his injury? If he does, we should take him and Bernard Raymond back-to-back, Sauce Gardner in round one. Quick note on Raymond, and then Gardner will talk more on Ojabo because I know a lot of people have questions on that. I don't think Raymond's there, and I kind of don't think Sauce Gardner's there for you either, so just keep that in mind. But I do think there's a very good chance Ojabo is there in the second round. I think the draft range for Ojabo is kind of 40 to 75-ish. I feel horrible for Ojabo. He was going to be a top 25 pick. And now he's not going to be. And hopefully it's less Sidney Jones recovery, which he's maybe just now getting back to the guy I thought he could be out of Washington, in Seattle of all places, and more Cam Akers. Some teams that I think make sense. 40-41 for Seattle, maybe 72 if he really slides. The Ravens at 45, they could be a good fit there. At 76 too. Falcons at 58 and 74. I would love his fit in KC at 62. And the Giants at 67-81 if they don't take an edge rusher early. Those teams, outside of maybe Atlanta, are in a position where they don't have to win right now. Whether they are rebuilding or in a contender status, they don't desperately need edge rush help immediately. They need help, don't get me wrong, but they could afford to wait a year for Ojabo. So what do you think? Who will draft him? The Michigan edge rusher, David Ojabo, in round 1, 2, or 3? Make your predictions for me in the comment section right now. Taylor Holland, my childhood friend Trey McKitty, breakout season even with the Everett signing. Honey Badger to Denver after the super salty KC breakup. All right, I'll answer both these here. That was the name, by the way. I couldn't remember earlier who the Chargers took. Trey McKitty, Georgia kid, last year. Kind of feel like McKitty sticks his tight end too, which is kind of what I thought he was going to be in the NFL, but hope so. Always good when young guys break out. Get that money. Honey Badger to Denver. I would be surprised. Safety. I know you might lose Kareem Jackson, but remember, I saw some nice play out of a couple of their younger guys, Caden Stearns, maybe Jamar Johnson. So I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd like it. I think he goes somewhere else, but that'd be a great signing for Denver. Britt Hansen, here's a super chat. A.J. Johnson of the Cowboys is a solid run stopper at inside linebacker and much cheaper for Catboy. Alexander Johnson's been a weird one. He's always got pretty decent reviews from those who study, but he's never had that much interest in big time stuff. He's coming off an injury, which always makes things interesting there. He is a free agent. He's still youngish. I kind of wonder if LVE was their cheap run-stopping option. But I think Johnson should get a chance to start somewhere in the NFL, whether it's Denver or back in Dallas. Wow, from Browns Blow. Shots at Petey. Who says no? Vikings and Steelers trade for Pitt to go get a new QB. So this would be, look, Trubisky's a stopgap. He's not their franchise QB. I could see it happening, actually. I think that if one of Pickett or Willis slides down to 12, it does make sense for Pittsburgh to go up and get them. There is some relationship there with being AFC North with Kwesi Adofo-Mensah coming over from the Browns. She should know the organization pretty decently. So I actually don't hate that one at all. From my burner account, $2 super chat here. Tom, why haven't you bought Dallas yet? We need change because help me, I'm poor. You got to give me ownership. That's how we make it work. All right, who won the Matt Ryan trade? Then Randy, Kyle. We'll get to your super chats here as well. Get your votes in. F or C. Now, I'm going to do the math here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, $69.91 in super chats. Nice. I owe about 6 beer cheers. So get your votes in. F or C. Bottoms up. Beer cheers is a beer sip. Let's call it what it is. That's 2. Bottoms up. Thank God I was able to eat lunch today. It is, unsurprisingly, Jack, all C's. Straight up C's in the comments section. So keep them coming. Some super chats here. And we'll hang out. As long as super chats are coming in, we're not going to start our next segment. We'll just hang out with the supers that have come in. So, Randy, would you rather have Bobby Wagner and Tyrann Mathieu or Jaron Kearse, and I assume means Zadarius Smith? I think Kearse and Zadarius is more likely. I worry about the ages of Wagner and Mathieu, but the hype train would be fun. So I love Jaron Kearse. I think I'm going to go Bobby Wagner, Tyrann Mathieu. It also reduces my possibility of Kearse being a one-year wonder, which I think is a real threat. So, Randy, that's a good question. Give me Wagner and Mathieu, even though those will probably be shorter, cheaper deals. From Kyle Casterline. Beer cheers for both these. Does Jimmy get traded now? Where would he go, and what is his value? We can go to the Jimmy G player card here if you want, Jack. It's a great question. I think the value for Garoppolo is kind of falling apart a little bit. The destinations are dwindling. Now, Pro Football Talk reported that John Lynch was telling teams they have an offer in the hand of 2 second-round picks. I don't know if that's true. Is it really true? Like, that feels like cap. I think it's cap, type cap in the comments.
Now that's what I call cap.
It feels like it's cap, right? Like that. I don't buy that. I refuse to buy that as the truth. Like they should have taken it already. And if they had it and then they lost it, they messed up. Feels like an attempt at leverage. I'm not sure people buy it. All right, Ten Yang, $3. Za'Darius with Hunter sounds disgusting if he signs. And he means that in a good way. Yeah, it sounds awesome. I mean, that is a really potent edge rushing duo. Now, you got injury concerns there. That's fair. But look at all the cap emojis coming in. I love it. I think it's a fun idea for Minnesota. The NFC's open. They can make some news, I promise you. All right, $5 from Danelle. Tom, our Cowboys are a worse team at this point than last year. What moves do we need in free agency to change that? Can the draft alone save us? I look at the Cowboys roster right now, and look, you're going to be worse at receiver, accept it, but you'll still be okay there. Unless you sign Jaron Kearse, you're worse at safety. Offensive guard, you are worse right now, but I assume you're going to spend your first-round pick on an interior lineman. Cool. Linebacker, maybe Jabril Cox gets healthy. Edge rusher, you are worse right now. Center, you're what you were. Tight end, you're what you were. Defensive line, interior, you haven't added anybody there. The big losses are Amari Cooper and maybe Connor Williams. I don't know how you guys feel about Seawell. I get that. But he was a starter for you. And Randy Gregory. You've gotten worse at edge. You're going to lose other players in free agency. If you lose Jaron Kearse, the meltdown's going to be on in just catastrophic fashion. So, sign Kearse, get a linebacker and or an edge, draft a guard early, draft a receiver and other positions, whether it's defensive line, linebacker, center early as well. If you're trying to fill 3 needs in the draft, it's not going to work for you. You want to fill 1, maybe 2, and then take BPA. But this team's got a ton of cap space. Let me pull up the numbers here. I'll go top 5 real quick here. This is based on the over-the-cap numbers, and stuff changes. It ebbs and flows. I know that. Like the Matt Ryan trade's not factored in, I don't think yet. Seahawks, Texans, Eagles, and the Cowboys have the 4 largest amounts of cap space right now in the NFL. What are you doing with $26 million of cap space? Seriously. Are you trying to win football games right now or nah? Because if the answer is nah, okay, that's fine. Move on. Like the Falcons have all of the cap space next year. They have nothing right now, but all of it next season. Are you rolling it over? Kind of disappointing if so. All right, $10 from DJ Smith. I can't remember if DJ's a Cowboys fan, but I can't remember DJ. Let me know in the comments. I know you want to talk about. Oh, and yes, thank you, Nick. Lyle Collins also gone, but you're going to start Terrence Steele more on the Cowboys. Like, it's fine. Like you were gonna roll with him. So that is what it is. So unless there are no more super chats here, we're gonna start our free agency grades for each and every single team. When you guys can get all mad at me for saying your team did a bad job when they did a bad job, you just don't want to acknowledge it. So give you guys a couple more seconds here. Yeah, ready to go, Jack? All right. Super Chat's coming in after this segment. In the meantime, time for our next portion of today's live show. NFL free agency is underway, and it is time to give out early grades for each and every single team. Now, look, we filmed this Monday evening, so there might be a move or two not factored in. If so, bump your team up a letter grade. I'm factoring in trades, but we're grading each and every single team. Alphabetical order, starting with the Arizona Cardinals, who have gotten worse. You lost Chase Edmonds, kept James Conner. Cool, that's fine. You added Jeff Gladney. You lost Chandler Jones and Jordan Hicks, which is whatever. Christian Kirk. You're a worse team right now. That's okay. It happens sometimes. Not everyone can get better. It's not how the NFL works. But Arizona, they got worse. So I am giving them a D so far. But that is not the lowest grade I've given out. Instead, the Atlanta Falcons. They done messed up. Let's call it what it is. You lose your best linebacker. You lose your only other receiver that's decent on the roster in Russell Gage. You add Casey, which I love, but you lost Matt Ryan. And your organizational plan as of 2 weeks ago was winning with Matt Ryan. That was your plan last year, and this year you had agreed to redo his deal. You never finalized it because you wanted to go get Deshaun Watson. You messed it up, and now you're out of QB as well. The Falcons are the early favorite to get the number 1 overall pick next year. That's bad. I'm flunking them. Time to be nice. The Baltimore Ravens. You do lose your center in Bradley Bozeman. That's a red flag. I want some more cornerback help, but Marcus Williams, Morgan Moses, and Michael Pierce were all pretty damn good deals by the Baltimore Ravens. I love the Moses one in particular. I'm giving them an A-. Potentially controversial here, but I'm going to give the Bills an A. I actually am okay with the Von Miller contract. It's not nearly as big as what might be said out there. I like their defensive line additions. Daquan Jones, Tim Settle to help replace Star Lotulelei and Harrison Phillips. Case Keenum's the new backup. Cool. Roger Saffold to help along the offense line. And I actually love the O.J. Howard pickup, too. You cut Cole Beasley. Cornerback, 2. That's your big area of concern. That's kind of it for Buffalo in terms of their team needs. So I'm giving them an A on this one. Carolina Panthers, kind of a weird fit. I hate losing Hassan Reddick. You broke the bank a little bit for Dante Jackson. I love the Bradley Bozeman sign. That's one of my top 10 so far. Super cheap for a starting center. Xavier Woods is a bit of an overpay. Austin Corbett helps. Left tackle QB, though, and edge. What's your plan there? Those are like 3 of the most important positions that you are at best average at right now. All right, the Chicago Bears. Yikes. You had the Larry Ojanobi deal. Flunked his physical. That doesn't count. You pivot to Justin Jones, who's nothing special. You lose Allen Robinson, and you get Byron Pringle, and you get EQ St. Brown. Swap out James Daniels for Lucas Patrick. I thought that was a downgrade, to be honest. The Bears are taking losses right now to set themselves up for the future. So it's not supposed to be a great free agency for Chicago, but I'm not great on a curve. They get a D. All right, here's what I want you guys to do. Shout out your favorite team in the comments section, and then give them a grade for their free agency. This might take a bit of time to write out the full team name and the grade. So if the ad break plays here on YouTube, take advantage of it. While the ad plays, take your time, head down to the pinned comment, give me your team and the grade for them so far in free agency. The Cincinnati Bengals, who also just finally cut Trey Waynes, thank goodness. The big need was offensive line, right? Well, you've got a new right guard, a new center, and a new right tackle. That's 3 starters for you. Is it like a full-fledged Chiefs rebuild of the O-line? We got to wait and see. Probably not. But it is better. So, Collins, big, nice pickup. I love the Kappa deal. I'm looking for another corner. If they could get Stephon Gilmore, oh my God, what a move that would be here. As of right now, he's still a free agent. The Cleveland Browns are next up here. I am factoring in trades. That is why the Browns get an A. You have lost J.C. Tretter, which I kind of hate. I don't like that move, but you upgraded a QB. I'm only focused on off-field stuff. If you don't like Deshaun because of the off-field, I get it, but I'm focused in on the NFL football side of it here. It's chat sports after all. Amari Cooper as well. You need an edge, yes, but Deshaun and Cooper, those 2 guys, namely Deshaun, make you a legit Super Bowl threat. And frankly, to only give up 3 firsts, it's not that bad of a deal. Deshaun's a franchise guy. You should feel good about him. I hated the contract they gave him. He just chased the money, but it's a win for the Browns in the end. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, not good. Dante Fowler and James Washington, your big sexy pickups so far. Connor Williams, Randy Gregory, Lyle Collins, also gone. And you re-signed Malik Hooker and Noah Brown and Gallup and Cool, whatever. You haven't gotten any better. That's a bad grade. I give them a D+. The Cowboys, they don't do well in free agency. The Denver Broncos here. How about, I forgot to mention Amari Cooper, of course, also gone for the Cowboys, right? I want to mention the free agent guys. You get Russell Wilson, DJ Jones, and Randy Gregory. That's awesome. Now, you still want a right tackle, maybe another corner with some of your top guys, free agents, but I think Denver, in terms of just the overall offseason, has been one of, if not the biggest winner so far. You have your franchise QB. Yes, the AFC is loaded. You're not going to find many orgs who are down to tank for 5 years until the good QBs leave. Like, that's just not how it operates. So for Denver being aggressive, I like it quite a bit. The Lions, okay? C is what I'm giving them here because it's just kind of average. Like, I like the DJ Chark pickup. I'm not sad about losing guys like Trey Flowers or Jalen Reeves-Maybin. That's fine with me. You kept Charles Harris cool and Josh Reynolds and Tracy Walker, but you didn't really get that much better overall. So it's fine. It is a longer-term rebuild for Detroit. That's not the end of the world in the end. If you haven't already, go follow us at rumble.com/NFL Daily. We've got Rumble or NFL Daily After Hours today, Monday, live on Rumble, and got exclusive content for you guys up there, plus some uncensored stuff. So if I drop the F-bomb, YouTube doesn't get mad at me. Go support us at that video platform so we can dominate just like we are on YouTube. It's rumble.com/NFL Daily. The Packers, I don't know what to do with them. Like, seriously, this is tough. Their big addition outside free agent was Pat O'Donnell. They lost, though, Devontae Adams, and that one hurt. For a while, it seemed like the addition of Aaron Rodgers, of keeping him, was going to make them a big-time winner. And they kept Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas. But you lose 2 starters on the O-line and Zadarius Smith and Adams? That hurts. So I think that's kind of just average for Green Bay. It's still early. Things can change, but I don't love it at this point. Houston Texans, okay. I think you lost 2 good players in Justin Reed, Jacob Martin. You add A.J. Cann, Jalen Reeves-Maybin. You didn't trade away Laramie Tunsil, so that's good. But you rolled it back on a 4-win team, kind of, sort of. Okay. It is what it is, by the way. Like, you know, you've been able to get nice picks back for Deshaun Watson. That's a win. But, you know, no one wants to play in Houston. Colts. They got bumped up once they traded for Matt Ryan. Yannick Ngakoue is there. I'm actually okay with that move. I don't trust Brandon Faison as their only other corner. I want to get one more guy. They need offensive line help still too, but the Colts, you got a QB that can win you games, but much more than Carson Wentz. Is he closer to Phillip Rivers? Yeah, of course. But that's not the worst thing in the world after all. Jacksonville. They're tough, man. Like, they spent all of the money. They threw money at Brandon Scherf, Darius Williams, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Foye Olakon, Foley Fatakati. They spent all of the money this year in free agency, and they got better. But I hate the Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram deals. I like the offensive line ones. I like most of the defensive ones. So it's good, but I thought it would have been better for the amount of money that they've spent. The Chiefs, who did lose Travarius Ward, by the way, but nobody else really of note, have upgraded at receiver and maybe safety, because I love the Justin Fields. Look, Matthew's gone. He's not going to come back to KC, but Justin Reed as your pivot is actually kind of good from that standpoint. So Chiefs are not done yet, but I like what they've done so far. They are aggressive like they need to be. We're not done yet. Still got like half the teams left or so. Who is the biggest NFL free agency winner? And again, factor in trades if you want. Let me know in the comments section right now. The Raiders getting an A- from me. I like getting Chandler Jones. It's a good pickup there. Anthony Averett too. Offensive line is the only thing this team doesn't have right now that would make me give it an A or even an A+. But they're as good as, or if not better, at edge, and they've upgraded at corner in the process. And plus, I love the Devontae Adams trade. You need a number one. You've needed a number one guy for years in Vegas. You tried Henry Ruggs, Antonio Brown. You tried to get Brian Edwards guy. Now Devontae Adams is your number one guy. A first and a second. That was it. I love it for Vegas. My favorite team so far, the Los Angeles Chargers. Talk about overhauling your defense. Khalil Mack on a steal. All right? There's a second and a sixth. What a move. I hate that for the Bears, but they're rebuilding, so whatever. Sebastian Joseph is going to be a great fit in L.A. J.C. Jackson, awesome corner pickup. Right tackle, that is your area of concern. But I think the Chargers and the Broncos, ironically both in the AFC West, are your 2 biggest winners so far in free agency and / the offseason. The Rams, you add Allen Robinson, swap out Robert Woods. Okay, you paid big-ish money to Joseph Noteboom, which I don't like. You lost Von Miller, Darius Williams. You knew you were going to lose those guys. I like being aggressive after Allen Robinson, and you also got Matthew Stafford at a cheaper deal short term. Just okay there. The Dolphins, who they get an A if they get Terron Armstead here. 2 backs, fills that need. Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, love that duo. I actually like Connor Williams more than most Cowboys fans. Cedric Wilson, and you've lost really nobody of note. You kept Emmanuel Ogbah too. So the Dolphins are better on paper. Will that lead to more wins? We'll wait and see. If you want nonstop coverage of everything going on around the NFL this offseason, then subscribe. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. That link is below. Hit that big red button and join us. Minnesota. Okay. You kind of kick the can down the road here with Kirk Cousins in the end. So that's fine. I like Jordan Hicks. You kind of swapped out defensive linemen and backup offensive guards. It's been kind of an average offense. That's what a C is, average. Producer Jack wanted an F, but he's been so mad over New England. I wanted to be a little bit nicer because they did re-sign Trent Brown and Devin McCourty and James White, and that's all fine and dandy there. But you lost Shaq Mason, which was bad. You got Mac Wilson for Chase Winovich, which, okay, whatever. That was not, the biggest deal in the world. Like, that's kind of, back-end rotation guys. Cool. Call it a split there. You got worse. Losing J.C. Jackson and Shaq Mason, I don't understand that. And before you say, oh, Bill Belichick. Cool. He makes plenty of mistakes. He just likes the volume side, which is smart, by the way. All right, the Saints have swapped out Marcus May for Marcus Williams and also paid surprisingly big money to Jameis Winston. So, okay. It's below average to me. The Giants, who we knew were not going to be aggressive, but still no curves, no free grades here. I like Mark Glowinski's signing. Everything else, even the guys you've lost, pretty meh overall. Who do you think is the biggest NFL free agency loser so far? You can be mean in the comment section. That is okay. Let me know in the comment section right now. The Jets, I actually love what they've done. CJ Uzomah, DJ Reed, a little bit too much money for Tyler Conklin, but you also got CJ Uzomah, I mentioned him, Lincoln Tomlinson, Jordan Whitehead, Jacob Martin. They got better on this team. Now, the safety swap, probably a bit of a downgrade. We'll see how they feel about George Fanta, Mekhi Becton with Morgan Moses gone. You kept Braxton Berrios, don't they have many key internal guys? I like what the Jets have done. The Eagles have been very quiet because they don't have very many free agents. But Hassan Reddick is a top 5 guy for me. I love it. Zach Pascal, cool. Kept Anthony Harris. They're going to win the draft with 3 first-round picks. So average free agency, or I should say above average free agency, cool. All right, the Steelers, Myles Jack, James Daniels. I love those moves. Mason Cole was okay. So was Levi Wallace. I thought they overpaid for Chuck Okorafor. I like bringing back Keller Witherspoon. Oh, and Mitch Trubisky also on the roster. It's been a good offseason for the Steelers. Not quite great. The Niners, this is not great. D-. Your big addition was George Odom? Hassan Ridgeway? I mean, many fans will go, who? You lost 2 starters in Lincoln Tomlinson and DJ Jones, and you haven't found a Jimmy G trade partner yet. That's not ideal in the end. All right, Seattle. I also don't like it. I thought overpaid for Uchenna Nwosu. You lost DJ Reed. Oh, and Russell Wilson, Carlos Dunlap, Bobby Wagner. You got worse significantly if you're Seattle. That relationship between Russ and Seattle was dead. It was over. But Seattle in a rebuilding phase, yeah, it's going to be tough to win in free agency. So what has been your favorite free agency signing so far? Let me know down in the comments section right now. Tampa, I give them an A. Now, it certainly helped that they got back Tom Brady after he retired, then returned. I loved the Shaq Mason trade, as we talked about earlier. A 5th for a better guard than Alex Kappa? Bucks keep winning. Plus, by the way, you re-signed Chris Godwin, you re-signed Ryan Jensen, and Carlton Davis and Brashad Perryman. They've got all of the receivers. Yeah, you lost 2 of your guards. You upgraded at safety going from Logan Ryan or from Whitehead to Logan Ryan. Nobody stayed flat there. I love what the Bucks have done. All right, the Titans. Good offseason so far. I love the trade for Robert Woods. I like getting Austin Hooper. Offensive line, especially beyond re-signing Ben Jones, is your big-time red flag there. I actually like the Harold Landry re-signing as well. So it's been a good offseason for Tennessee. And now for a bad one. I almost flunked them. The Commanders. You got worse at guard. You could make a real argument that Brandon Scherf, Eric Flowers are both better than Andrew Norwell. But for money, probably he's second on that list there. You cut Matt Ioannidis and pissed off his agency in the process, by the way. You re-sign Bobby McCann. Good move. When your biggest move is trading for a QB and then you still need a QB, that's bad. That's a bad offseason for the Commanders. All right, the question that I like the most, it's a lot of good engagement so far today. I want you to shout out your favorite team for me in the comments section, and then give them a grade. And I'll give some shout outs here momentarily as well. Timothy Crooms, Donnell, I see your super chats. Those will come up during the Q&A as your teams and grades come in. Remember, NFL Daily After Hours on Rumble only. So stay tuned for an exclusive segment after this Q&A. But as long as the super chats are coming in, we will not get that started. So I will put the Rumble link for today's show in the comment section. It's in there right now. We're live on Rumble and on YouTube. But if you want the bonus segment of my top free agent signings and worst free agent signings, head over to Rumble. And then, type me if you're watching on Rumble so we can give you some shout-outs there too. So again, check the comment section. That link is in there. Also go just subscribe right now. Follow us at rumble.com/NFL Daily. All right, shout-out time here. Titans B, Colts A, Falcons no grade, Buffalo Bills A, Raiders B+, Cowboys D, Titans B, Arizona D, Chargers A+, Titans B, Panthers F, Titans B, Raiders A, Raiders A again, Seahawks F, Jags B-, Cowboys C, Jags B, Chargers A, Raiders A, Bears C+, as somebody has changed the pin poll live on YouTube right now to instead grade my free agency grade. So it's clever. The A's 56%, by the way. Awesome. Thanks for the high praise there, guys. Commanders C-, Raiders B+. Jeff says Tom A++++++++. Thank you. Falcons F, Giants no grade there. Rams B, Niners C, Team Baker Mayfield A, Chargers A+, Rams D-. Bengals and Bucks both get A. Dolphins B. Patriots get an F in there. It's now down to 46% say A on the pin poll, by the way. B, 28%. C, 16%. D or F only got 10%. Commanders D-. Tom A+. Thank you, Luns. Giants get a C. Eagles get a B. A from Christopher Collymore with no team. Probably just for me. Seahawks next year. Yeah, that's fair. All right, mailbag time here. Any super chats that come, we'll hit it here. And as long as the supers are flowing in, we will stick around live here on YouTube. Then only Rumble for Rumble After Hours in there. So use hashtag NFL or super chat if you want to jump the line and get on today's show. You're watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey answering all of your questions on today's mailbag coming in live on Monday's NFL Daily. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future live videos. Timothy Crooms, who do the Colts get at wide receiver for getting Matt Ryan? You bring back Julio Jones? I mean, Julio is not what he was in his prime, but he'd be cheap. And the Colts don't like spending big-time money for whatever reason in free agency. So I would have interest in Julio Jones, depending on when this goes out. Will Fuller? You throw big money at Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who I think will go back to Green Bay. Maybe you bring back T.Y. Hilton, and then maybe draft somebody in round 2 as well. Donnell, Tom, what does CeeDee Lamb got to do to solidify himself as our number 1 receiver? Also, what steps does Joseph got to take that number 2 cornerback spot? Joseph first, awesome offseason. Do all the right things, go above and beyond, be in the facility, which isn't always how NFL players handle the offseason, but be there, do everything Dan Quinn asks of you, train on the side, and get those reps that you missed out on a lot this year. As for Lamb, he makes the hard plays look easy. Now you got to make the easy plays look easy. Those drops, they got to go. And your coordinator has to actually throw him the football just a little bit more frequently. From Jack's Burner. Oh, all right, Jack. You got one too. Who could draft Jameson Williams? Somebody good at the back end of round 1 is going to get a steal. The rich get richer is this type of selection here. He might have been my wide receiver 1 in terms of had he been healthy. He was not. So 5 teams, I think, makes sense. The Saints, get some speed, some more help. Let Winston throw that deep ball. I would love that pick. The Patriots, they got Burner, so it might not be the ideal fit. The Packers have 2 first-round picks. Make it happen. Tennessee still wants a receiver 3 to pair with Robert Woods and A.J. Brown. And how about the Chiefs? Sit him a year if you have to. Tyreek Hill, Jameson Williams, Travis Kelce. Ooh, that's sexy. So what do you guys think? Who do you think will actually draft Jameson Williams? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video since the draft is now just around the corner. So if you get that ad break here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know who you think drafts Jameson Williams. From Jacob Hollingsworth, how do you feel about the new Bears regime moves? Really feels like they're kind of resetting in terms of the organizational structure and the money they're paying. They will be in better shape next year. They are the second most cap space next offseason. So this is as it sits right now, there'll be more moves, of course. This is a reset year for Chicago, and next year they'll get really expensive with their moves. From Ed, with it's about $5 US, by the way. Center J.C. Treader, where does he sign in for how much? Great question. Tell you what, you know where I would love him? How about Baltimore or Miami? How about one of those teams that have a big-time need at the center position, add him and replace Bradley Bozeman or a new starter for the Dolphins, and that offensive line for both those teams is in much better shape. Contract-wise, $6 million a year? 7. He's older. He's older, and that will bring down his value and his interest. DJ Smith, goofed earlier. Are the contracts of Deion Jones and Grady Jarrett tradable? Could be a salvage option for the Dallas front office if Jerry could kick Catboy out of the room for a minute. It's funny there. Deion Jones first. Let me make sure I have the right numbers pulled up here, but I believe that they are. Deion Jones, as that loads, I'll also make sure I get the Grady Jarrett numbers pulled up here. Turns out everyone wants to be on the same sites for the numbers. Jones, these are both Dan Quinn guys to an extent. Jones's deal is tradable. Falcons would save $9 million. His new team would owe him, however, almost $15 million. So that's a little bit dicey. If you trade for Deion Jones, you're probably trying to restructure him. I'm not sure that's what the Cowboys would want to do. Grady Jarrett, they could cut him. I think that might be a cut candidate now for Atlanta to free up some more money. Last year of his deal, $16.5 million. So no one's going to trade for that. I think that unless he wants to redo his deal, which is certainly possible, I think Jones is your trade candidate. Jarrett is your cut candidate. Folks, we've got daily NFL news, rumors, trades, draft, free agency, and so much more. So if you haven't already, subscribe. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. All right, Britt Hansen, Cowboys going to sign a big fatty. Fatties only, baby. Or are they going to go for someone like Travis Jones in the first round? Need a run stopper for a long time. First off, Britt, I like you putting Travis Jones in round 1. We will do round 1 sleepers, and that's one of the guys who could sneak in the back end of round 1 that you didn't line out of UConn. I think day 2 they might look for a guy. I would say that they probably don't sign a big fatty because they never do what I want them to do. Britt, thank you very much for that super chat. All right, Titan, how do you think Marcus Mariota plays on the Falcons? He hasn't been good in years. I'm sorry. He can run. He can do some things for you with his legs, but I don't think he's that good of a player. He should be their backup in the end. All right, from Mad Wolf, will the Seahawks keep or cut Chris Carson? I believe there's some injury protection on that deal for Carson, so I think they keep him for now and see if he can get healthy for week 1. I think he could be a preseason cut candidate. NFL Daily is now also on Rumble, and if you guys want exclusive content such as NFL Daily After Hours on Rumble and uncensored videos on that video platform, go follow us, rumble.com/NFL Daily. I'll put the link in the comment section and in the description. Help support us over there so we can dominate just like we are on YouTube. From Pat Rick, what's your favorite QB trade and least favorite QB trade? Okay, Carson Wentz, least favorite, not even close. Horrible trade. It's not popular. I think the Falcons one for Matt Ryan's actually kind of good. Or for the Colts side of it, I should say. To get back a better QB, short term, of course, for less than what you got back for Carson Wentz, I think is a huge win for Indy. Cameron Alfrey, can Odell Beckham come back to the Giants to win the playoffs or the Super Bowl? I think that bridge has been burned. I want to see what Giants report host Marshall feels about Odell Beckham to the Giants. He's shaking his head no, but he loves Odell Beckham. He says Odell Beckham is the greatest receiver in franchise history. So, I get it, but no, I would be shocked if OBJ went back to the Giants. ECK Sports, why did Bradley Bozeman only get $2.8 million? And the Giants should have signed him. I was very surprised that Bozeman, who come off a good year, only got that. I think that was a steal by Carolina. My suspicion is that teams that want to run more wide zone stuff thought he couldn't play in their schemes at all. That cuts down your options pretty quickly. And for guys like Desmond King, for example, and I think J.C. Jackson too, there are players out there that we as fans and media think are better than what the NFL thinks. Sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're not. I don't think the market was there in any real capacity for Bradley Bozeman, as surprising as that was. From Grow Up, I refuse. Any more wild trades for the Browns to make? Maybe. I think if you're going to make a wild trade, you're probably not getting somebody. Maybe they don't want to pay Denzel Ward big money in a year or two. What if they traded away him? What if you flipped Denzel Ward for a late first-round pick or an early second-round pick and took a new corner? That would be your wild trade for Browns, which, by the way, I would not advise doing. I think Denzel Ward is really, really good football player. So name a player who you think gets traded. Who is it? Drop a name for me in the comments section that you think gets dealt next up. From Jeff Rogers, where is Stephon Gilmore's likely landing spot? Hope it's to my Raiders. You can cross off the Niners. They got Trevarius Ward, of course. That was their big-time pickup. You could... I don't think it's the Raiders. I don't know where he goes. You know where he should go, Jack? He should go back to New England. Or back to Buffalo. Honestly, both of those destinations make perfect sense for Stephon Gilmore. Now, are those bridges burnt? I don't know on that standpoint. Seahawks, they've always been linked to him. Gilmore's in a weird spot. I think the Bengals and Colts would also be good fits for him. Mr. Palmieri, 32. Tom, you are wrong on the Giants. We attacked our O-line this offseason, putting them at least a B-. Yeah, but did you get good football players? Like, Matt Gano is not good. You got Mark Glowinski. That's a starter, but I don't think that they're like, oh, yeah, now we're good on the offensive line with those players. Like, you still are looking for a right tackle. Probably want a better center. Like, I think you weren't going to spend big money. So if you want to grade on a curve, cool. But when your biggest, sexiest signing and best one by a margin is Mark Glowinski, come on, that's not a B- grade. All right, from Archangel, what happens to Drew Lock, Mayfield, and Jimmy Garoppolo? Hitting all the QBs here. Lock will compete for the starting QB job in Seattle, possibly with Baker Mayfield. That could be a duo to what an ugly duo that is in Seattle. I think Mayfield would win that job. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think Carolina? I don't know where he goes. Those two QBs, your spots are Seattle and I think Carolina right now. Take your pick as to where they go. From Donuts, how will the Packers replace Devontae Adams? Hopefully by taking a wide receiver in round 1. Damn, they need help there pretty badly. How about Chris Olave to Green Bay? I think that'd be a fun fit. From Gregory Peck, who should draft Tyler Linderbaum? Any team that is okay with Linderbaum being small and not with elite power. He should go in round 1. The Giants, it's probably before he goes, but he's going to be a top 10 guy for me. I wouldn't be mad at that pick. Seattle's probably a stretch, but I want to mention them if you don't believe in Austin Blythe. The 3 teams that really intrigue me now. The Baltimore Ravens at number 14 overall with the loss of Bradley Bozeman. Huge need there. The Cowboys as your Tyler Biadasz replacement. The Miami Dolphins. I would go trade up for Linderbaum. I love him. Like, Miami needs a big-time center. Linderbaum is a flawless fit in that offensive style. You get him at 29, that'd be the best pick in all of round 1. So what do you guys think? Who will draft Tyler Linderbaum? Let me know in the comment section which team you think gets him in the NFL draft. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to us here on YouTube. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. We got 1,000+ people watching right now. I know not all of you are sub to us here, so let's get that changed. Subscribe right now. All right, the pinned poll, which was the pinned poll earlier, the question of the day. Who won the Matt Ryan trade? Should be F's in the chat. Or not F's in the chat, excuse me. C's. I was making my F in the chat joke. C's. The Colts won. A 3rd-round pick for Matt Ryan because the Falcons messed this whole thing up. Yeah, big-time L for them. So let me know. F for the Falcons, C for the Colts. Now, momentarily, we are going to move to Rumble only here right now for an exclusive segment only available, rumble.com/NFLW. So pull up that video link, download the app, follow us. The link to the video, the live stream on Rumble, is in the comment section right now for you guys. We will give everyone a chance to go download the app and get it pulled up, etc., before we begin over there. And if there are any super chats, look at you guys. That's 5 minutes down. 5 minutes, Jack? 5 minutes, then we'll go Rumble only. So if you got any super chat questions, now is the time. As long as these super chats are flowing in, we will not jump over to Rumble only, but that's coming up here momentarily. So go do it right now. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. That link is heavily in the live chat. Click it and go pull it up there right now because we're going to end things here on YouTube momentarily. In the meantime, let's go to this question. Favorite team and free agency grade. We'll spend some time on that one to give you guys a little bit more time to get over to Rumble only for After Hours. That is coming up here very, very shortly. So go join us right now. While you do that, you can also shout out your favorite team and grade their free agency so far. Jack, you're a Patriots fan. What are you giving them right now? Also, I owe like 8 beer cheers, so do that. You talk while I finish the beer.
All the Fs. All the Fs.
You are down bad, man.
All the Fs. Get Belichick out of that GM position.
I'm going to be honest, Jack. You are such a spoiled Boston sports fan.
I am.
You absolutely are.
I am.
You know how many teams would kill for 1 year of what the Patriots have been able to do?
Yeah, I know.
About 25 of them.
I know.
Yeah. You're spoiled.
Yeah.
All right. As long as you acknowledge it.
Be better, Bill Belichick. Be better.
Right.
As a GM.
Yeah, great coach, but GM is but he understands that volume draft picks is the way to go. He gets that part. He's just bad at making the quantity there. Junior Estrada, Patriots D, Steelers A, Tampa Bay A+, Titans F. Wow, I'm surprised he hated so much, Devontae. I actually kind of like their moves. Interesting. Steelers B, like James Daniels and Miles Jack. I completely agree. Raiders A, ID's calling you snobby. Yeah, that's fair. Snobby bunch of Boston sports fans. I agree. Titans F. Patriots D. If you're watching on Rumble, you can also answer this, and we'll give you guys some shout-outs too. The one, LJ Smith, we will get to that. I see your questions, but I want to read those only on Rumble so YouTube doesn't get mad at me. That's why we're on Rumble too now. Cowboys F-, Dolphins B, Chargers A, Bengals A-, Seahawks B. Again, we got another 2 minutes here, and we're going over Rumble only. NFL Daily After Hours. We got a decent amount of people over there watching, but you got to get over there because the YouTube stream is going to end here momentarily, and it's an exclusive segment on Rumble only, live. It's going to be my best and worst free agent signings so far. So if you haven't already, click that link, download the app, follow us, rumble.com/NFL Daily, and get in the live chat because we're going to go and end it here, Jack. There have been no more super chats. So we're going to sign off here on Facebook and on YouTube. Go join us, rumble.com/NFL Daily. Download the app, I put the link to the live video in the chat as well. We're going to have our exclusive Rumble-only NFL Daily After Hours segment over there starting right now.